I see the Jeff Wolverton crowd has
Yeah, a
gathered.
few.
I was wondering, all these people coming right at the
Yeah,
end.
the
That must
heavy drinkers.
We know
be
what
it.
they're doing.
Hey, can we get a Hafiz?
Mm.
Yes, but first you're gonna get the avatar.
Okay.
Oh man. All right. Hold on, hold on. This virtual background is good for hiding blemishes, but not so good for showing art.
Oh, look.
I
Oh,
Oh,
recognize
look.
that.
Wow.
Work in progress. This is
Hmm.
Angela's creative
Calendar.
artwork
Yeah.
on,
Well, that's better than Picasso.
I
yeah,
didn't see that. You
calendar.
moved it
Show
too
us
fast.
again. Show us again, first day.
Roxy says you're moving too fast.
You moved it too fast. I didn't see it.
I'm amazed, and you're not even halfway through.
So
I
each
know,
of
it takes concentration.
so
And
each of the letters has what Baba's pictures in them.
yeah,
Or
well,
messages.
the other, I'll show you a sample.
Lailaja, I create this coloring book
Yeah.
with designs that
Okay.
I've drawn, and then you color it in.
Right, right.
You've been there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cute.
I love it.
Show us the Avatar Mayor Baba again for first day.
Say that again.
Show us the cover again.
We
Really?
want to see it again.
Again, again,
Yeah.
again.
Show you tomorrow when it's done. It's kind
Oh, that's so pretty.
Oh, that is really cute.
Wow. Oh,
I gotta get one of
wow.
these
I
for
have to
my
get
aunt.
Come on, you
Where can I
boys,
get
say it's
one?
pretty. All the girls are oohing and
Yeah.
ahhing, and all the boys are like, okay, so when do we get to serious business?
Yeah.
Let's see your half
We got,
is.
Larry's cool.
yeah, we can put up all these things, man.
All right, Jeff, pick a number.
Let Alan, you pick pick a number
20.
between when and when.
Where's Alan?
20.
20.
You
20.
had to do that, didn't you? Let's see, 20 coming up. I hope it's a good one. Oh, wow. Alan.
This is Hafiz.
تا لی الله چه دولت دارم امشب که آمد ناگهان دلدارم امشب چو دیدم روی خوبش سجده کردم به حمدالله نکو کردارم امشب نهال صبرم از وصلش برآورد ز بخت خویش برخوردارم امشب. You have no idea what you've picked, son. All right. By the grace of God, what fortune I possess tonight. Because my beloved suddenly came to me tonight. I prostrated as soon as I saw his beautiful face. Thank God I have good deeds to my credit tonight. The seedling of my patience for union has borne fruit tonight. I have finally received my great fortune tonight. You couldn't have picked a better one. I have won the royal lottery. My awakened destiny has arrived into my hands tonight. With an unstoppable, self-perpetuating determination, I am taking off the veil of ignorance tonight. Like Mansour's blood that wrote, I am God after his death, I too will do the same if you kill me tonight. I am the deserving one. You have the blessings. Give a well-deserved tithe. I am agreeable tonight. I'm afraid Hafez may be annihilated from the bliss I am experiencing tonight. Jai Meher Baba.
Wasn't that the the poem that he wrote, one of the poems he wrote on the night of realization.
Yes.
Out of 500, he picked
I think we gotta watch out for this Alan dude.
yeah.
Good one, Alan. Nice
No,
thinking. Beautiful.
he's got a cheat sheet somewhere, you know.
How do you know that? It must say somewhere. There are some poems that he wrote on that.
The poem in itself reveals what happened to him, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm.
So wait,
Yeah.
that was on the night he actually had God realization. That's why
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
That's the night.
this is annihilated.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't
Beautiful
even know
translation,
that
Kavita.
those poems existed.
What, Prakash?
Very wonderful translation.
Very beautiful.
It was just flowing. I mean, it's so nice. Thank you.
There were two that he wrote on the night of realization, right?
I suspect so. I probably have translated the other one too. I don't remember the number.
So we got Namita and Ganesh have come from Pune. They're just, hanging out at Starbucks and making use of their Wi-Fi.
We are in.
There is actually a Starbucks there.
Is it called Starbucks?
Yes, Starbucks is all over Pune now.
I have a
In
story.
Iran, they call McDonald's Makali.
Actually.
I have a story that might interest you.
Sure.
And something that I heard back in 1970. But, I think most of us know when Baba was in England in the 30s, they kind of, being kind of new to Baba, they thought that he didn't feel things. They had him out on his sadra, and I think probably in the back of Kitty's home with a movie taken, and he's just there in the sadra, but it was freezing cold. And Baba acted like, everything was all right, but afterwards he told some of the people, you people don't realize that I feel things, I have sensation. They just kind of thought somehow he's on a different plane. So, and I suspected that, but this is a story that I heard. We had, was it this morning or yesterday morning? Sarosh's two daughters shared their experiences of being with Baba. Was that this morning or
Yesterday.
yesterday? Okay, God, everything's merging. So anyway, Sarosh
You have Zoom file.
came to New York in 1970 after Baba had dropped his body, and he shared this story that made a deep impression on me, especially about my sense of Baba. And for those of you who may not know Sarosh grew up in Ahmednagar. He was the first cousin to Adi and the first cousin to Khurshid. So they were all kind of in cahoots there, and they all became devoted to Baba. But when he was 18, he met Baba, and after some time, Baba opened up his first ashram in Bombay called Manzili Mim, and there were about.
And
40
we're gonna go.
What's that? Oh.
No, don't worry.
Okay. There were about 40 men. They had a very strict life and everything, but they went out and worked. They had certain restrictions when they worked, and then they came back and Baba, trained them. This is early training. And so at the end of 9 months, Baba disbanded Manzili Mim, and each one was to come forward with an interview from Baba to decide what they would do. They could stay with Baba. Some of them needed to finish their college, so they went off to do their college. And now this is as Sarosh is telling this, and this is as I remember it, maybe 50 years ago. I don't know how long. Yeah, 50 years ago. And Sarosh was he was engaged to Vilu, and so he told Baba that he would wanted to get married, and Baba gave his approval and everything. So Sarosh and Vilu, they were married, and they moved to Nasik, which is maybe 3 hours north of Ahmednagar, and he got the Chevrolet franchise, and they started their married life and all of that, and all the adjustments and their home life and all that. And I don't know whether it was more than a year, it might have been 2 years. I think it was 2 years, but I can't remember this exactly. But after a couple of years, he came to see Baba. 2 years had gone by, he hadn't seen Baba. And Baba was, as I recall, in a bungalow, and all these men were around, the Mandali, and he was interacting with them, and he was in a very good mood, but he kept overlooking Sarosh. He would be talking to this one, and then he would skip Sarosh and talk to that one, and interacting and all that. And a whole afternoon went by, and Baba didn't acknowledge Sarosh. And after hours, Sarosh was so hurt, he came up to Baba, weeping. And he was a huge man. He was a powerful, manly character, and he's weeping. He said, "Baba, I haven't seen you in years, and I've been here this whole time after not seeing you in so long, and you are just haven't even acknowledged that I'm here." And Baba said, "Now you know how I felt all these years that you haven't come to see me."
Wow.
And Baba said to Sarosh, "Now look in your heart." And he looked down in his heart, and he saw Baba so beautifully that he passed out. Just the sight of Baba in his own heart, and he passed out, and they had to carry him off. But here was, Sarosh had 4 hours of hurt, and Baba had years. Now you know how I felt all these years that you haven't come to see me. That made a deep impression on me as a kid, that I can't just assume that Baba doesn't feel all these things. He feels them even more deeply than we do. Had any of you heard that story? I probably have said it before.
I'm hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Very profound.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, people think that, well, Baba, he's God, so, nothing touches him. But that's the Mandali all knew how he felt about things. And we have a dining experience here that's, it better be a vegetarian, that's all I can say. No.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Jeff, well, number one, that was a really beautiful remembrance of Baba, and it touched me very deeply. And my mother actually is in the ER right now, but she has a lot of symptoms of COVID, but she did take a test, and it came back. The first one came back negative, but she's still with the doctor right now. But anyways, when she's sitting there, she sent me a text, and she said, "Hey, do you know who Maheshwara is?" He said, "People know me as the plumber," and he traveled with, or he and his wife got married by Baba. But I've never heard of this gentleman, and I'm just wondering if you've ever heard of him.
Doesn't seem possible.
possible.
I don't think he traveled with Baba because Baba only traveled, if he was old enough, it'd have to be in the 50s, and Baba only came to America and
He's
Australia.
American.
Yeah.
Well, how do you spell the name?
I think it's like his chosen name, Maheshwara.
Maheshwarah. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of
Show a picture.
that name.
Is he American or Indian?
I just thought it was interesting because Baba sort of took me. I just sort of feel like on a interesting loop because I was like worried, but then all of a sudden my mom said, "Hey, this man is talking to me about Meher Baba," in the middle of this interview. Yeah, and then he just came up to her, and then I said, "Why is he talking to you?" She said, "He just told me that he could tell I needed compassion or that I was going through a lot or something." And I was like, "What? Like that sounds weird," but at the same time, it's a trick of the mind because in a way it was like, yeah, it was just sort of like Baba telling me in my heart, like when she told me that, even though maybe this guy is off his rocker or something, but I still felt like I felt in my heart that Baba said, you know, like my Nazar is with her. Like you have nothing to worry. You have nothing to worry about. You know, like it. So yeah, it really.
I mean, were there any photographs of Baba around that he would have known that your mom was connected to?
No,
Wow.
no, she doesn't. And she's not. I mean, she's just learning about Baba, you know. So she's not particularly. I'm sure she doesn't have a picture of him on her phone or anything.
Yeah.
But even so, yeah, he just came over and started talking about Baba. Yeah.
That is miraculous.
Yeah.
The odds of that are impossible.
Yeah, that's why it kind of cut through my heart when she said that. I was like, well, I
Yeah.
don't know if he's crazy or not, but either way, like, you know, somebody brought Baba's name to her, so, you know. Anyways, yeah,
Yeah. Wow, that's far out.
crazy times.
Yeah. Namita, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fine. Not sitting at Starbucks, Jeff.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're probably at the Ramakrishna, right? Or
Oh, yeah.
the coffee shop.
No, none of the two. I'm at home, very much at home, having coffee at home.
Yeah.
Pretty early here. I
What's
woke up pretty early at about 5. I said I woke up pretty early at about 5. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock now. And
Yeah.
for us, it's...
Great. Great to see you. And Ganesh is up early. And yeah. So Ganesh, anything?
Well, so tell us more.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I was saying, tell us more. I said about, I think I connected about 2 days ago, and I heard something very beautiful from you. Yesterday, unfortunately, I couldn't get online, but you said something very beautiful. It really stayed with me throughout the day. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I mean, listening to you and then, you know, because that day it was really very vivid and it kind of was there the entire day. So when you say something, it just stays with me the whole day. I carry it in my heart, and it just helps me to, you know, function, keeping
thank
Baba
you.
close
Thank
to.
Baba. Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
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 Let me try to remember.
You remember the topic?
It was about, yeah, it was about the heart and the feelings, and it was something very, I really can't remember, but I know it was so beautiful. I'll just try to remember, and if I get it, I'll, you know, say it.
Ganesh, you got anything rattling around in that skull?
I think like yesterday we had a good discussion in our effort and grace workshop, which we have like that one, the Karen host. So
yeah,
that was good. So I guess that in the real effort part which we were discussing. So that is what, it was a good discussion that we had like yesterday on the real effort part. And so, but not anything particular right now, it's coming to my mind.
I could tell you kind of how Darwin would convey things in a certain way. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but on this session here, but this is about Darwin. A buddy of mine and I were going around. We were on the west coast of the country, and we decided to go around and visit some of our college buddies. And one of them lived up in a little town that turned out, we didn't know the area at all. It turned out to be kind of only a few miles from Schenectady, New York. And we had heard that there was an elderly couple who had met Baba back in the 30s who lived there. So we kind of, one day we were driving around and we got there was a phone booth, and we got up the nerve to call this elderly couple. We looked up in the phone book and there was the number, and then I got cold feet. I like, these people don't even know us. But I went ahead and this buddy of mine, he just went ahead and called. And this was Darwin and Jean Shaw. And we asked them, if we could come over and hear about Baba. Well, they invited us right away. We spent about 3.5 hours talking with, listening to their Baba stories. But they had been with Baba since the 30s, intimate stories. And as we were leaving there, we decided that, we didn't have any particular destination. Why don't we just move here? So we did. We put our suitcases down, and Darwin got us a couple of jobs at the county nursing home. And back then, what the older Baba people told us young people, there were two things that they stressed. One was to live in the world and carry out your responsibilities wholeheartedly, and the second was remember Baba constantly. And so with that on our banner, we went off to this nursing home, and and it turned out it was the infirmary part of the nursing home. It was, so these guys were stroke victims, very seriously disabled, and it was backbreaking work, and the place was short-handed, and a lot of them were just dead weight. We had to bathe them and feed them and all of that, and we found it very difficult to remember Baba and do this work at the same time. In fact, if I wanted to remember Baba, I had to go down the hall to the bathroom and lock the door and just kind of stand there and remember Baba and everything, and then I'd go back on the floor and get swallowed up by the sheer volume of work, of demand of the job. Did you guys hear this before, though?
I think I
Still,
did.
you please share, because it's always nice to hear the story of remembering Baba.
Anyway, so we went to work, and we were struggling to remember Baba and do the work at the same time. And so after about a month, we told Darwin our difficulties. We were having a hard time remembering Baba at the same time as work. And Darwin, he was very low key. But he said, maybe you need to create a little more inner space. Now, inner space. We had read all the Baba material. We'd never run across the phrase inner space. But we were kind of a little embarrassed to say we didn't know what he was talking about. So we let that go, and then he said he described the scene with Baba in 1956 in New York, where Baba called Darwin, Jean, and the three children in front of him, and he said basically this: if you love me, you must give me everything. Your pleasures, your pains, your joys, your sorrows, your good and your bad. Give them all to me and be free. Hold nothing back and be free. And so we took this in and we started giving Baba everything we were feeling. Well, my major feeling at that time, I would wake up in a real feeling of dread. I mean, pervasive dread. And usually by 11 in the morning, it would kind of disperse and in the course of the work, and I would be all right. But then I started giving this dread in me to Baba, and it was I didn't know, I didn't never ask Darwin, well, how do you give things to Baba? I just imagined Baba in front of me, and I would put my consciousness on this dread until I felt it really fully, and then I would imagine it flowing and over to Baba and say, I would give it to Baba. And so I started doing this, and so I would wake up, so I would do this, and what would happen is by 11 o'clock, the dread was still there. By 2 o'clock, the dread was still there. By the end of the day, the dread was still there. I'd wake up in the morning the next day. It would be dread all day. For a whole month, it was just dread that I was trying to give to Baba. And after a month, I said, this is not working. Either I don't know how to give things to Baba, or I'm giving to the dread to him and I'm taking it back. It's not, I'm not getting any results here. And then I think some of you have heard this, where, so I decided I was going to discontinue it. And Darwin wasn't pushing anything like this. He didn't even mention anything further about that. Anyway, we were at a cafeteria, and in the cafeteria in America, you have these dinner plates at the beginning of the cafeteria that are spring-loaded. You take a plate off and another one pops up, you take another plate off and it pops up. And so Baba flashed this to me, you're giving me your dread. And then you look down and, there's no change. You give another plate and and you look down and still no change. But meanwhile, unseen below, the stack is diminishing. So Baba flashed that to me, and I thought, okay, he convinced me to go on giving, even though I wasn't seeing any results. But then later on, I mentioned this scene this flash that I had to Darwin. And Darwin said, whatever you give to Baba is gone forever. But that's just that one layer. And behind it, there's another layer that looks just like the one you gave him. So it doesn't look like anything happened. But give him that layer. And there's another layer behind that. So go on giving layer by layer. But he said that's only part of the process. That's not the most important thing. As you give things to Baba and they're dissolved, you're making more room for Baba to live in you. You're creating inner space. And so we started doing that. Over time, we got some inner space so that we could do this job, this very demanding job, and have the space to experience Baba at the same time. In other words, I didn't have to go down the hall to the bathroom to remember Baba. The remembrance of Baba and the work were now under the same roof. So that's how he kind of just from his influence, we gathered that so that you could have Baba with you and do this very demanding job at the same time. So that's
Jeff, is that the same time that you were working with you talk about flowing
that
through things?
the flowing is
Yeah.
a whole different approach.
Was that later on though when you were when you kind of got to that approach in your later on in your life?
No, I mean in the same couple of years, the whole idea of that inner current he told us about.
Can I say
Yeah,
something about this and maybe open up a little conversation about
yeah,
this?
yeah,
The way that you described that, the giving your dread to Baba and then the plate bouncing back, like there's just a huge stack of plates and all we see
yeah,
is the top plate. And it makes me think about just about faith
faith.
and faith and conviction
Yeah,
and persevering in our surrenderance, even when we don't see the immediate transformation or benefit, and committing with faith to our like reaching for Baba again and again and again, even when we don't feel
right.
him
Yeah,
electrocuting us or overwhelming us. And I just think that's a kind of a good conversation. Or like I wonder if there are times when you other times when you or other people have felt like just that feeling of am I really doing this? Are you really here with me? Are you really real? And
yeah,
then but then keeping going and then him, bringing it back. I'm just kind of curious about that
yeah,
experience for people.
yeah. Let's see what others how they experience that.
You know, I wonder if this fits.
Hi, Paula.
Hi, it's something that I actually wanted to tell you, Adrian.
I just have to interrupt and say I was just thinking about you 20 minutes ago and I didn't even know you were here, and I'm so happy to hear
Yeah,
your voice.
Thank you, thank you. What I wanted to say was, and I think maybe it fits, is, like with Alan's mom, why is it so hard for us to get these signals that Baba gives us, and they're very clear? So what happened, okay, so it was July 26th, and I think it was that night you, Adrian, said, you told us about The Final Embrace, the movie The Final Embrace of Baba, and how beautiful it is. So that night, I couldn't sleep, and I had to look for it. I really had to go for it and look for it. I couldn't find it, and I finally found it, and I watched it twice. I watched it within a couple hours of my son's death, and I didn't know that he had died, but I watched that movie, and it's so hard for me to get it in my mind that Baba was saying that he was receiving him. It's like, why is that so hard in our minds, to get what he gives us? It's like he's very clear, and it was so beautiful to watch, and if my son came to me during that time, that would have been what he would have seen. I don't know how it works, but it's just kind of a question I have, is like, why is it so? I feel like hitting my head against a brick wall when Baba gives me these clear signs, and then and then I just am silly.
Well, it's interesting that you watched it twice. Final embrace, with your son, and a final embrace with Baba. I mean, embrace from Baba and embrace from your son.
Mm-hmm. And it also felt like Baba receiving him.
Yeah.
but it was, I believe it was that night that Adrian had talked about that, and so Baba did that. And yeah, so it's, I don't know, there's a lot of things like that that happen that the mind interferes with it. You know, it's like Baba's clear, and I think maybe that's what you were talking about with faith. It's like paying attention and really believing that, yeah, this is what Baba's saying. Anyway, but I really did need to tell you that, because that was a real key that you delivered that night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really
Honored
important.
to have been a part of that, and Alan was the one that turned me on to it, and we love you so much, Paula. I feel so much love just pouring out for you right now. Just connection and just gratitude for you as a person and your wisdom and your Baba connection.
Well, I'm glad somebody else feels it.
I feel it.
We do. We feel. I mean, Baba is so intimate, you know, I mean, that he knows. I mean, he doesn't show it all the time, but he just, you know, when you really need some tender, you know, response from him, he's always there. Even though it's like an eyedropper of that is worth more than all the other stuff you get in this world. You know, a little eyedropper of his intimate, loving attention, you know, at a dark or low moment in your life.
Jeff, as you were saying this about inner space, one thing is like yesterday what you said, like life is one damn thing after another damn thing, and that's what it is. Like you there is something you and there is a problem that gets solved, and there is a new one that comes, and that's how life goes on. So usually what happens is something, the issue that is burning or something that catches up our attention, and that absorbs our energy, and usually we want to get rid of that, and then we say once that is over, then I get my what is called space or whatever. So this was thinking that's at a very gross level, and inner space is at a very inner level. So and like supposing there's something that is burning or something that is you want to fix it, some issue, and that is catching, that is taking up your time and energy and everything, and that's also affecting your inner space, if you're getting my question right.
You mean you're getting pulled out of your inner space to put out all these little fires, right?
Yes, yes.
Emotional fires. I mean, you don't necessarily have to leave that inner space to do these things. Let me let me ponder this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adrian. Were you were going to say something in response?
I was just saying that I wanted to sing a song. I was just telling you.
Say that again.
I wanted to sing a song, but I wasn't sure if it was the right moment.
Oh, well, in just a little bit. Yeah, sing in a little bit. Sing the song. Let me think. It's
like this.
There's a lot of I mean, there are a lot of different factors in there, but it's, I mean, say, for example, if you take problems personally, you're more stuck and bound up in it. That's, I mean, if you can take them, say, suppose you're enthusiastic about working on problems, then they don't stick to you because you kind of enjoy solving problems. In other words, our attitude toward the problem is the key. The last thing that Erich basically said to me Jeff, are you still having, it basically said, are you still having a problem with problems? In other words, you take the problems as they come along, but don't have a, I was having a problem with the fact that there were problems. So I'm adding a problem on top of the problems that come along. And even when there are no problems, I was still concerned that there are going to be problems, you know, so it's, so letting go of that. You don't, if you don't have a problem with problems, you can stay in that inner space.
That really does require total and complete detachment.
It's how, it's how much you identify with the problem. If it was someone else's problem, you wouldn't have so much of a problem with it. You know what I mean? Like suppose your boss is always demeaning you, and then you take that personally, and then you're all involved in that. But what if one of your fellow workers, the boss is demeaning him or her? Then you would approach the problem, well, how can I help my fellow worker out? You know, there would be a detachment, more of a detachment there. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, that makes sense.
If you could, that there, you can see there's a change in the approach or attitude. So taking things personally is where we get caught.
It's like this, just to take an example further, it's like you have a bad boss in that, but you have a meeting with him this evening, supposing, and then there are 100 things he might just ask, and you need to keep yourself ready with all your stuff and all that work you need to do. And that takes in a lot of energy and time, and you get pulled into all that. You
And
get pulled into, you get pulled into all that things that you need to do.
Yeah.
That, I mean, that should be affecting the inner space. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Some means,
like he's overloading you with stuff that responsibility that is cramming you so much that it's very hard to hold on to your inner space.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, how to hold that without, you know, without being pulled away from your center, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's put that. Let's put that on pause, and hear a song.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get. Wouldn't that be great if the song is the answer to this?
It's an answer. I don't know if it's the ultimate answer. I just wrote this song.
Okay.
So I'm excited to play it.
Good. We are all ears.
Hold on. Oops, wrong way. Okay. I have to bring it all the way over to the piano. Sorry. Don't look at it. It might make you dizzy.
While you're getting set up, I have to take a little trip to the men's room. Okay.
I think it's too loud to play and sing. Like, I think you can't hear if I.
How's it sound?
Like, if I think that the piano becomes so loud, right?
Sounds good.
For me to
Sounds
sing.
good.
Okay. Okay. So the premise of the song is that life gets really sad, and that we're filled with. What is it? Original sound on? Okay. So life is very. Alan distracted me. Life is very sad. Sometimes we get I get so overcome with the sadness and the problems, and just the problems of the world and the grief of the world. Kitty. And so the song, it's okay to be sad, because I think a lot of times, especially in spiritual community and just in this time life, it's really, we don't want to be sad. We want to transcend the sadness. We want to be happy, and we want to be okay with everything. And this message of the song is that if we're okay with being sad, we can be sad together, and then through the togetherness we can keep holding on to the hope that we will be relieved of our sadness. So, but you can interpret it however you want, but that's the
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
And it's been really helping me, because the other day I just couldn't. It's just been so hard, and then the song was like, write me, and it's been really helpful to have this as like a companion. Baba helping me write the song. Woke up this morning and I had to pray, feeling the weight of the ache of the world heavy on me. I wish I was smiling, feeling the sun on my face, but it seems like now it isn't the time or the place. But I keep hoping and trying to hold on to you. I'm still reaching, even when I'm this blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. I'll still reach for you when I'm bluer than bluer than blue. Maybe your heart is held captive by so many ancient fears. It feels like you're drowning and you're all alone in a sea of tears. But I'm right there with you. Just look up and you'll see. Take my hand, and together we can get free.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, well, you know what?
Beautiful. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
before we let you go tonight, you have to play it one more time.
Again?
Oh, yeah.
No, not right now, but to kind of round out the evening. But
But Adrian, could you lower the piano? Because
yeah,
I couldn't hear your voice very
That's
good.
what I that's what I
yeah,
thought. That's what I thought.
yeah,
I can actually. I have a muting pedal on my piano.
yeah, yeah. But oh wow, no, and yeah,
There was a lot of
um,
heart in that, and honesty and truth and beauty and sadness and hope. How'd you cram it all in there, girl?
yeah. I thought of a as you're doing, I'm blue and I'm blue and I'm blue. I'm blessed to be blue with you.
Oh.
You
Mm.
know.
To be
But my underlying feeling is sa- I mean, my underlying emotion is sadness at this world. It's always been, that's my underlying feeling.
Mm.
My underlying experience is of love, but my underlying emotion is sadness. I think it's natural. This is a sad place.
Jeff, I remember looking at my pictures. I don't have a lot of pictures of my childhood, but the very few that survived, or my parents' excuse was not acknowledging that I was the second child and I wouldn't get as many pictures of my brother. But their excuse was that came and stole the camera. I'm like, yeah, and you couldn't afford to buy another one, right? So I only had like one or two or three pictures of my childhood. And oh my God, in every one of them, I looked so sad to have had to come here. It seemed like I was like, I mean, a child should be just happy and, carefree, but I was this sad little girl. So I feel what you're saying, um,
Yeah.
Adrian, like this sadness that it's like this place is a sad ass place,
It's a sad place.
and we have to like. I don't feel that anymore, thank God, because we have Baba. And I think all my life I was sad until I found Baba. And then Baba gives me that. I mean, his face is enough to give you that beauty and love and hope that there is the other side of the coin, and it's him, So, wow.
Some children also remember where they came from.
I don't remember that I remembered, but I sure noticed from the pictures that I was sad.
I know two people when they were children, they remembered being with God.
Oh, wow.
And they wanted to go, they wanted to be there and not here.
Yeah.
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 I think Adrian's song actually answered the problem. I think it did, because Baba said, Baba kind of reduces things down to their simplest form, because he says, he really likes to solve problems. And when we're trying to solve all our problems, then he figures, well, we're doing that, so he's not going to bother. But when we give it to him, then he'll solve it for us.
That's so deep.
So
That is kind of like at the seed of the song anyway. It's like I feel like I spent so much of my life like resisting the place that I was in, feeling like there was something wrong or flawed with me, that I wasn't well or didn't feel well or felt this sadness. And then it just, the message has been more recently like just go there, but just take me with you, because like Jeff said, this world is actually really sad. Like one of my students the other day, she's been asking me, how do you really sing from the heart? That's like the thing that she wants to know how to do, which is like such a dream to have somebody want to know how to do that. And I I was like, how do you explain that to someone? And she's been going through a lot of grief and sadness. And the other day in our lesson, I realized, the reason that you feel when I sing that you feel my heart is because the truth is I'm always sad, and I'm always filled with a deep, we all are, because we're filled with this immense longing for reunion and for it all to be over, even though we want to do our life. But and the trick is to just let the sadness out. It's to be as big as you can be, so that you don't get swallowed whole by it, but that you can be sort of a vessel for it coming forward and intermingling with all of the joy and all of the enthusiasm and gratitude that we also feel. I think that's like it's all happening. And
I think what you're saying is it has its place. Everything has its place.
Yeah.
Meru said to me once, and I have to find it again. I wrote it down somewhere, and who knows where it is, but she actually had the authority to say it, because she said, you can't let this sadness like swallow up your life. You can't let it take you over.
Yeah.
And she, if anybody had the right to say that, it was her.
Yeah, they had to. Yeah, I mean, I think if I tune into the collective, what's going on in the world and the lack of love, I can't help but feel sad for the way things are, but it doesn't get me down. But it's definitely the lack of love. Bob has kind of gotten lost in the shuffle of this modern life, and that's kind of sad.
I think it's more than sad. It's madness. It's madness. It's really, it has, back in the 50s and so on, people 40s, 30s, 20s, people had a semblance of sanity. And now I think that balance is over, and people are experiencing various degrees of madness.
But the madness makes me feel sad. Makes me feel sadness. I mean, I'm like I say, that's my underlying feeling.
So you're feeling sad for the madness.
Yeah, I mean the lack of. Yeah, Ganesh. Yeah.
There is a line in in Huma poem somewhere Baba has written, and the translation is like, "This world was never, is never, nor will it be anyone's beloved." So that was always like it stayed in my mind. This world was never, is never, nor will it be anyone's beloved.
Yeah.
Another thing it inspires too is compassion, because that madness is just, darkness and ignorance of, of who people are, not knowing, just really not knowing who they are inside, and that God is within them. It's hard to be in situations where I've been around people lately too that it's like, you want to try to help, you want to try to get something in there, but don't even know if they can even hear.
Yeah. Yeah, there's such a pervasive aimlessness. I mean, or at best, people are trying to live the good life, but that's not necessarily aimed toward God. It's just a good life for your own self. But I don't. Luckily, I don't feel critical or judgmental, because it really takes Baba coming in and turning somebody's attention away from the addiction to illusion, and to want to turn around and and move toward the divine. You know, I mean, before Baba, I was looking around and everything. I certainly didn't find it. I was.
You know, I kind of have to trust that. It was like, I can't remember her name the other day, but in Baba's time, Baba knows the right time for each person.
Yeah.
I think I've definitely experienced that. It was like the moment that I walked up the hill at Mirabad to the Samadhi, I knew that that was a split second moment that Baba had just for me. When he gave me himself, it was like, it was just the timing, and I was really aware that that was the time. And it's like, I think we all have people that we love so dearly that we wish could have, you know, what we have, or have Baba in whatever way he wants to give himself to them. And it doesn't seem to happen. But like they were saying, well, and what's kind of evident is it's in his time. He knows what he's doing. And I think it's also a challenge to trust that Baba knows what he's doing, even though it's kind of miserable right now, but he still knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that kind of comforts me in an odd way is it's like, we know that the avatar, that God himself, that the Christ shed his blood in the middle of this country, right smack dab in the middle of this country. And he's taking care of it. So I think, you know, part of our work too is to trust that, to trust him. I don't know, it's a lot of work.
Thank you, Paula. That was
Yeah.
thank
You know, Adi used to say that I like this. He used to say, conviction in darkness is God realization in disguise. Meaning, if you know that Baba, down here on this earth, if you know that Baba is God, that is really God realization. It's just a matter of time before everything gets peeled away and you're left with realization. He put that much faith in the fact that you could be down here in this darkness and know that Baba is God. It's a miracle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read this sentence last time, but just with what Paula said, I like to read the sentence from Everything and Nothing. This is what Baba says. You have no idea of my love and compassion, which sustains your very being. In love is infinite compassion, and whatever happens is already tempered by compassion. You have no idea of my love and compassion. That's what Baba says.
Yeah, if you must blame anybody, blame me. But you don't. You have no idea. The first, doesn't it say? You have no idea. If you have to blame anybody, blame me. But you have no idea how it's something like how everything is tempered by my compassion.
I mean, he did say he finished his work 100% to his satisfaction. And what was his work? Yeah, we know his work. He's laid it all out to realize his circle and to give his lovers the push, and you know, he's getting the entire universe closer to himself. So how he does it is not my business.
That's what Mani Aunty used to say. The world is Baba's business. Our business is with Baba only. The world is Baba's business.
You know, I think too, like you were talking about earlier, like being in an office situation or being in those kinds of situations where it feels like that inner space is well, evaporates, or you don't even know that it's there. Um, I've always believed this, that Baba puts us where he wants us, and we don't know what he might be doing through us in that situation, just by putting us there with those people. And I mean, like he did say, you know, like you give yourself to him every morning. And I mean, well, I'm not very structured, so it's anytime I think of it. But we just give ourselves to him and let him use us the way he wants, and we're not aware of it. That's what I hope. You know, I hope Baba's always been using me, you know. But when you're in that kind of a situation, the problems really do belong to Baba, and they come up to work on us and to work on other people. But I don't know. I think everything is meaningful and really important. You know, my husband used to have to go to the hospital a lot, you know, and have things happen. And I used to watch it, and it was like, those were situations where he met people that he never would have met. And he touched those people that never would have been touched in that way. So it's like watching Baba's puzzle, you know, whatever he might be doing, you know, and wanting to be of you know, like a channel for him. I just think that I used to work at an espresso bar, and I put Baba's hair underneath the machine. And I used to ask him to, when I thought of it, and I couldn't always think of it, you know, it was kind of busy. I didn't know people's names. I just knew their kids and their horses and their dogs and all that stuff, you know. But it was like, you know, I was just hoping that maybe Baba would bless everybody and you know, do whatever he wanted with them.
Yeah.
So it's just like every place we are, he put us there. Like Hafiz says, the place where you are right now, God circled on a map just for you. So it must be kind of important, maybe, to him.
Well, that's not Hafiz, but that's
well,
good saying.
Dan Ladinsky version.
Yeah,
you know,
I like
Mansari used to say this, I mean, from Baba, that if I have a lover in that city, that city is protected. You know, without our even knowing, he can step in and do anything he wants in that city. If there's a lover in a city, that city is protected. Without knowing this, how it all works. Mayor Prasad, we got to hear from you. You know, some other stuff from Seattle. Anything that anything you recall, or anything that
No, nothing in particular.
or weigh in on anything?
No, not really. You know, the last 1 week has been, you know, one of the toughest times at work for me, and I've learned that you know, transforming whatever I was going through towards Baba was really the right thing to do. You know, instead of repressing any anger, hatred, any kind of such emotions, instead of repressing them, just direct them towards Baba.
Yeah, beautiful.
And hating him, hating Baba, showing anger towards Baba, and any emotions that we feel, you know, if we transform them towards him, there's a lot more, I don't know if you call it inner peace, but the momentum continues. That's what I've noticed is, you know, in general, when you're at an inner level, you feel that it's going like a, you know, free flowing river with no obstructions. But when he brings up these issues in you,
you feel that, all this junk comes up to the surface, and you feel the momentum slowing down significantly to the point where it almost becomes stagnant. And once you redirect those to him,
Yeah.
you actually feel that momentum actually going, slowly picking up.
Yeah.
Not becoming stagnant, but actually you actually feel the momentum.
Yeah. Like Darwin used to say, jet fuel. A lot of the, but yeah, and that creates that inner space. Okay, as that stuff is given to Baba, you're creating more space for him to live in you. It truly happens, even though it's a hassle, but it makes more room in him, in you. I mean,
I came across a quote from Baba. I'm going by memory here, but it said, as you come in close contact with me, at times you become 100% miserable, but know that I know everything. And something like, it is my love and compassion are always with you, or something like that.
yeah. I said in those moments that it was when you surrender to him, when you're 100% miserable. I dare not, care not, he would say. Hey.
Yes, I guess I found that quote. It is natural that at times you feel 100% miserable. Be sure that I know everything. When everything goes wrong, the mind becomes helpless and has to rely on the heart. There are the moments when you resign to my will and rely solely on my help. When you leave all to me, I dare not neglect you. When you get relief from your predicament, I am the ocean of love and compassion. Indicating the helplessness of a lover, the poet Hafiz has said, in loving my beloved, I have become like an ant under the foot of an elephant, safe and secure, but helpless to move. So this is from the 82 family letters. That's where this Baba quote is.
Hey, yeah, give that Hafiz line up there to Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday, we got a line translated by Baba, Hafiz line.
Indicating the helplessness of a lover, the poet Hafiz has said, in loving my beloved, I've become like an ant under the foot of an elephant, safe and secure, but helpless to move.
Beautiful. I'll have to hunt for that one, huh?
Yeah, see, when you get to that, then you can italicize that.
Yes.
Part of the translation.
It'll be so nice.
82 family letters. This quote is there. Page 176.
Page 176.
Yes.
Well, how are we doing? Let's see. I was thinking, if there, I mean, I got you in mind for playing that song once again, but let's make sure that if there's anything else that comes up. I mean, we lost Alan. I don't know what happened to him. What did you put him back in his cage again?
He messaged saying that I'm still here.
They're taking turns.
I need to write an email.
Alan, oh no, I'm writing an email. I have to write an email, but Alan is, I don't know. Sometimes Alan just walks through a portal and I'm like, Alan? And I don't know where he is. And then a minute later, he's like, I hear this noise.
Now, this is what he sent on the chat. He said, I'm still here in the meeting, but I need to write an email.
That was me. Alan is in another dimension right now, Jeff. You guys, we don't talk about this a lot in the Baba community, but, there is such a thing as time travel. and intergalactic.
Yeah. He's here, but he's not all there. I mean, he's not all there, but he's here.
He's there, but not all here.
Yeah. He's here, but he's not all
This
there.
brings up a topic like I know we
I
discussed
gotta plug my
that one.
computer.
But living in the present moment is so difficult, and you once said that you don't even daydream. So how did you achieve that? You said that you don't daydream and all that. That's what I remember you sharing once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, when I got into Baba, this is back in the 60s, I decided to drop daydreaming. I have no, I don't know if I could recommend it to anybody, but I just felt not to daydream. Basically, to keep my mind, my awareness in the present without glossing it over in going somewhere. So I don't daydream. I don't know what, but I just decided to, I don't know, like someone decides to give up smoking, you know, just these things. But I didn't like drinking because I like to keep my awareness intact without any kind of distortion and daydreaming is, I mean, I did ask Marwan Jesawala one time, I quoted, this is in Mandalay Hall, and I said, you know, Baba said, live more and more in the present, which is ever beautiful, and stretches away beyond the limits of the past and the future. I said, Marwan, what does that mean to you? And he said, you will only find Baba in the present. You won't find him in the past or the future. He says, people spend so much time thinking about the past and the future, and they let them slip away right in front of them. So the
Just
present.
on that, when you say when you find Baba in the present, then there are so many old Baba lovers. They today just live with those memories of Baba. So they're just in that past, and they always recollect those past memories and remembering him that way. So it's not the present that they are in. They're just recollecting the past and remembering the past
But here's the thing. I said someone said to Darwin, you know, you you get to kind of relive all these memories of Baba. And he said, not relive. I live these experiences of Baba. In other words, they're actually more timeless memories. It's a little. I mean, it's that's the unusualness of those times. They're not really the past in the usual sense, because they're linked to the divine.
That's why Baba said, when you have a dream of me, it's not a dream. I'm really there.
Yeah.
So anytime we have an encounter with the divine, it's an encounter with eternity.
So here, just trying to understand the present thing. So here I'm at a party with all the people, and then I'm there present physically, but mentally I'm just thinking about Baba and sitting in a corner and not exactly being part of the party, but just spending my thoughts with Baba in those moments. So am I in the present moment then?
That would be such a Ganesh question.
Yeah. Well, Baba said, I mean, it is possible to think of Baba and be engaged in the whole thing that's going on. You don't have to be separated out. But at the same time, you could be in a contemplative state, and you're just not this external situation. You know, is not part of your contemplation. But if you feel separate from the scene, then the remembrance of Baba, you might say, is causing a separation rather than unifying, feeling kind of at one with the situation. It's you're over here and that scene is going on over there.
You know, this reminds me of the story of the woman who was just absolutely madly in love with Baba and she just gave up cooking
yeah.
for the family and doing anything. She'd just go in her room and meditate and think of Baba. And when Baba saw her, she said, I was extremely happy in you, but I was not happy in your family, in your husband or children.
Remember that story, Ganesh?
You
Yes,
can
yes,
tell it
yes, yes.
better.
Yeah,
Can you
this
retell it?
happened. And Baba said, in them, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farishta, thanks for recollecting that.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, you know.
I remember the story, not a story, but interaction between Gai Mai and Baba's mother, Shirin Mai. Gai Mai would always pester Shirin Mai about Baba's childhood stories. She would always keep asking Shirin Mai to tell stories of Baba when he was a child. And one time she was asking her again, and Shirin Mai was, she got frustrated, saying, how many times should I tell these stories? And Baba was passing by at that time. And he told Shirin Mai, my stories are always fresh.
Yeah, beautiful. I
It means
remember
that it means that whenever you think of him, whenever you talk about any stories of his, whether they are past or whatever, it's always present because they're always fresh.
Yeah, beautiful. Good that you remembered that. Yeah. Hey, so Alan, we're going to have one last song from Adrian, unless you have something up your sleeve,
Yeah, I don't have anything up my sleeve, but I'm still I just my mom has to have surgery, so
Ooh.
She might have to.
she might have to because they think she might have a what do you call it?
Appendicitis.
Appendicitis.
That's what we just
Oh.
found out.
So I just got the news about that.
Oh my God. An appendicitis. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, she's had it for at least 2 or 3 days where it's been really bad. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure how far along that is, but yeah.
Yeah, are her symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, and all that?
I don't think it's vomiting. No, she just had she thought it was like a
She's been having diarrhea and chills and
like chills and fever, but mostly the pain.
Yeah, sharp pain.
Spot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah.
She's been through so much. She's had it'll be like her third surgery and fourth surgery in a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Baba's working with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at points like this where what is the word? What's the phrase? Like something meets the pavement, the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
Is when there's I have to sort of reach for Baba. It's almost like there's so many distractions in your daily life, but then when it comes to somebody really close to you, or somebody's in trouble, then it's almost like those things, the clouds can kind of clear, and he becomes more clear even in the midst of such intensity.
Yeah, the pursuit of love burns away everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just when love is called to do something or respond.
Yeah, it's like you guys were saying when you're talking about just the general sadness of being on the earth, and that's funny because that's literally one of the first dreams I had of Baba, and the only time I ever really heard him, say something out loud was when he like pointed in someone's face and he basically said the word sadness, and it like shook like thunder and lightning in my whole body, and I like looked up, and you know, that's where he was just right there, and looking into his eyes, I just sort of, you know, looked into eternity. And but then to go on, you know, and reading about Baba, and you know that there's the honeymoon phase, and you're like, oh, I just feel the love, so you know, it's so nice. And then I started reading things like where he talked about, I think in Listen Humanity, about suffering, about like the different levels of suffering, where he goes like, supreme suffering brings blah blah blah. Do you remember what that line is? There's like the 3 levels or certain levels of suffering, like in humanity, that it brings like, I don't know, awakening. I don't know the phrase.
Unprecedented suffering leads to unprecedented spiritual growth.
Right. And that goes into the thing you were talking about with it in the ages, where like at this age, just a little bit of effort is like huge amount of spiritual benefit. But it's incredible that has to be that way.
Yeah. So we're getting close to, if anybody else has anything, otherwise we got this, we get to float out on this song.
Are you gonna play it?
I am, but I have to finish writing this email, so I hope
Oh
somebody.
yeah, you finished the
Almost
mail.
done. I feel like somebody has something that they want to share that's really vulnerable. It's gonna just crack us wide open, and I'm gonna sing the song, and we're all gonna cry, and then we're all gonna go to bed or stay awake if you're in India. So somebody has to go there.
Yeah, we should go to bed weeping.
I think that would be helpful.
You know, here's something. When a certain person got elected president, this person had a vision. You know who this person is, but I don't know if I should. But they had a vision, and they saw Baba on his bed in his room at Merazad, and he was very sad. I mean, so sad that this Baba person reached out to comfort him. And what Baba conveyed is, I worked so hard. I can't remember the exact words, but he said, I worked so hard, but he's talking about humanity. I worked so hard to make, make this available. But now humanity, but they didn't take me up on it. And this is the line I remember. And now they have to go the hard way.
Ouch.
Hard way.
What's that?
Hard way.
I worked for them, for humanity, and that they couldn't really receive it. I wish I could get the first words.
So God came in a platter, and we
Now they have to go the hard way. So it's progress. The hard way is progress. But we had an opportunity. The whole of humanity had an opportunity to avail themselves of Baba's grace, but they just kind of went the karmic way, you might say.
So God came in a platter, but we missed it.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, huh?
What did you say, Ganesh?
God came in a platter, and we missed it.
Oh.
He passed around the tray and everything, and only a few people took the
mandali took
the little jiggers off of the platter. Oh wow! So, any last things before we go out sobbing?
So wait, Jeff, this is, I have a hard time digesting this thing.
Yeah.
Help me digest this thing.
Oh, that vision?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this person actually had to comfort Bob. And actually, I feel that's what I felt. That's what I'm feeling. That this is a hard time. This is a hard time for Baba. And we do now, we've kind of stayed with greed and aimlessness and me first. We've gone the way we're going the karmic way, which is the unfoldment of selfishness and I'm just saying myself. I see that happening. We're going the hard way.
When
But
did
as
this
as
person,
lovers of Baba, we we don't have to be pulled down by that.
when did this person have the vision?
Soon after somebody got elected
That,
president.
that's currently still,
Yeah.
yeah. Soon after.
He
Yeah.
must not be named.
What's that?
It was right around when Lord Voldemort took
Yeah, but I was
the
just
Oval
saying,
Office.
I was just gonna say that.
See, I'm on the center. I have to be careful.
Lord Voldemort. I'll say it. Okay.
When 45. When 45 met 2016. Yeah.
Dropping some numbers out there. They're just numbers.
Yeah, just numbers.
Oh man.
Oh, okay, let's go for that.
Alan's got a
Adrian,
poem he wants to read, and then
okay, good. Yeah. Hey, you know that book of Hafiz that you have there, The Green Sea of Heaven?
yeah. You want
That
more?
lady, that lady grew up with Nan. They knew each other from childhood, and she came here and read over at the Shariar Press.
She read. That's awesome.
Yeah, she read from that very book.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I felt like she was some kind of a believer or adjacent.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
Baba adjacent person. That's cool.
Yeah, no, she knows about Baba. She's been to the center, and she just very nicely read over at the Shariar book room. They had all the chairs set up, and she read from her book of poetry. And
That's cool.
yeah, yeah.
It's a good book.
All right, Alan, you ready?
So yeah, what you got there?
So let's round it out, right?
Yeah.
Home base. Okay. Are you going to set up with your computer soon?
I'm going to use your computer.
All right. All right, this is number 30 from 40 Messages of Meher Baba. Let me.
Are you annoyed because I'm typing?
No,
We can hear you good.
I'm just going to move over here.
So there's a seamless transition. Alan's my opener. I'm the closer.
I'm the opener.
Yeah.
Plug the light in, too.
Okay.
Where's Jake tonight?
I know.
Use the microphone.
You don't know. We lost Jake.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Now they can hear me all right.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. You have come on earth to realize God. I do not ask you to go to the caves like the saints of the past. Remain in the world without being entangled therein. Do not renounce your duties with the hope of becoming spiritual. Do your duties, but have no desires for personal gain or reward. Let not your status or achievement. Sorry. Let not your status or achievements fill your mind with false pride. When you offer your mind in love and faith, I do everything through you. When you offer your mind in love and faith, I do everything through you. You will then be no more bound by what you do. You will be unattached and yet in full action. You will remain free in the midst of your works. You will worry no more about what life brings to you. You will dwell in unshakable peace in spite of the tribulations in the world. You will be my torchbearers.
Wow.
Jai Baba.
Beautiful. Yeah. You know, when back in the 70s, there were all these trunks that were in the storage room near the refectory, and Bob and Jane and I, Bob Brown and Jane and I, one day we we went in there and investigated, and in these trunks were all these communications that Norina had gotten from Baba on how to develop the center, and I mean they were like transmissions themselves. And at lunch break we'd go over there and look through these things. You know, I don't know if we were really supposed to, but we did, to see how she developed the center from communications from Baba. You know.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's awesome. What do you remember any of it, Jeff?
Oh, I mean, very specific things, you know, like there were certain master trees on the center, you know, and that they shouldn't be touched, and and how cabins should be, and all manner of like very nuts and bolts development of the center was coming.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, good. So we're ready. You know, we
All right, round two.
well, let's
same
just say,
song.
Paula, are you still there?
Maybe she fell asleep.
No, I'm here.
She's there. And Nasreen, are you there?
What song are you playing?
Jeff wanted me to play it again.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Okay, we're going to have one last beautiful song from Adrian. Payam,
Okay,
you're
same
there.
one. You want
Yes.
the same song? Jeff,
Okay.
did you want me to play the same song again?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And the piano was a little bit loud,
So
so
now I have it on like this.
Should do a test run. Try singing right now while playing.
Is that a little better? Hi, Payam.
Woohoo!
I'm getting a little reverberation, but that might be my computer.
Reverb like echo?
A little static. Are you guys getting static
Maybe
when
it's a
she
little
plays?
loud. How about now?
I'm hearing good.
It's good?
Okay, good. That's good for me. Go ahead.
Cool. All right.
Great. Then we'll have a few moments of silence afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I woke up this morning and I had to pray, feeling the weight of the ache of the world heavy on me. I wish I was smiling, feeling the sun on my face, but it seems like now it isn't the time or the place. I keep hoping and trying to hold on to you. I'm still reaching, even when I'm this blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue.
trying to hold on to you. I'm still reaching, even when I'm this blue. Oh, yeah. Bluer than 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 blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. I still reach for you when I'm bluer than bluer than blue. Oh, the path of life is long. It stretches far beyond our eyes could ever see. And I've been lost so many times, isolated in myself, thinking I was free. But everybody needs a friend out in the wilds of this great mystery. Yeah, I need you. Oh, you need me. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. I keep hoping and trying to hold on to you. I'm still reaching, even when I'm so blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. Bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. Ooh, bluer than bluer than bluer than bluer than blue. I still reach for you when I'm bluer than blue. I still reach for you when I'm blue. I still reach for you when I'm bluer than blue. I still reach for you. I'm reaching for you. I still reach for you.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Well, before we go on, let's have a few moments of silence, and then we can go back into our ocean of blue.
I said, can we add a little pink in there now? Just a tad.
Yeah.
Green, okay.
Green.
I
Yeah.
go for green.
The green sea of. Ooh, lovely. Wow.
That's
Yeah,
what I've been doing.
yeah. Things are coming in from all over. Hey, so great. Wonderful to hang out with you guys out here and on a pink cloud surrounded by blue. Yeah. Yeah, Ganesh.
Yes.
I don't know if I'll get up here tomorrow. What I have to do, I'm on duty down in the center.
Okay.
Sometimes I sneak up here and break into the place and check in on a Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Party time.
No, that is lovely. Just keep writing songs like that. They're just no, I mean they're they just have such a focus on Baba, and you know they have that longing quality. You know, Monty would sit down with Bob Brown, and he would play his latest songs, and you know she'd say, you know, no, that doesn't have the longing. You know, she'd kind of critique his songs. I mean,
Cool.
and he would change them around to put a longing quality in there. And you know, I mean, some of his songs are kind of animated and fun, but if it was kind of going toward longing, I mean, she would she would you know kind of say, no, it doesn't touch me. You know, so that would be a clue, a hint to him to rework it a little bit and bring it in.
I try to do that, like, if it doesn't touch, because sometimes you can write and not realize that you aren't actually moved from that deep place. That the
You're not what?
Well, as a writer, you can write something that seems good with your mind, but then when you
Yeah.
really resonate, like, does it really break your? It should always break your own heart.
Yeah,
That's my rule. If my heart is not really broken, then
yeah,
I need to rework it. And sometimes I just like I like to keep these Hafez and I have the Conference of the Birds here, and I just keep it here because sometimes I'll be writing and I'll just like be like I'm not there, and then I'll open up and I'll like feel into Hafez, or feel into the Attar, the Conference of the Birds, or like I have money here and I have Baba, and I just like it has to like be it has to go all the way, you know. It can't just be
yeah,
kind of, you know, I want, like, as a listener, I want my heart to be broken, so then,
yeah,
or I want, you know, broken, but you know, the
yeah,
longing
yeah,
is just the most important thing, because that's
yeah,
what brings people into the place where it's beyond sadness, and it's just that like mixture of like, oh my gosh, life is so incredibly beautiful and like horrific, and it's all Baba, and like, oh, I just want that.
yeah. Baba called it Dard.
Oh, Fereshte is singing.
It's all your fault, but I have to do this. So
Okay, let's hear it, Fereshte.
no, not without you.
But we can't sing it together, can we? Barun barune zaminat harmishe golne saju.
Come on. We have this thing going on for the play, so I had to learn a old Persian song, and Adrian suggested this one, and I'm like, I know that one. I'm gonna pick that one. So Baba Jan and I don't want to give it away. Golandun are gonna be singing this in the play.
Anyway, I will see you guys. Let's, you
All
know,
right.
just remember Baba loves and adores you no matter what. Don't have to be anybody
You're
special.
doing it different. Let's see. Is it wait this way? My heart is backwards.
Oh, backwards heart. Oh, you
Jai
guys are
Baba.
so cute.
Yeah, Jai Baba, see you,
Bye.
Dan. See you, Payam,
Good night.
Paula,
Hey,
Wonderful
Baba,
Paula,
everybody.
Nasreen,
Thank you.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Meher
Jai Meher Baba.
Keep the faith.
Yeah.
See you, Mayor
Bye,
Prasad.
Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Meher Baba, Meher Prasad. Jai Meher Baba, Jeff.